Alright, so previously we finished off by covering the column settings. In this video, we're going to be going through the tooltip and toolbar settings. So as always, within the sample report, you already have some pre-built examples that you can explore. In our case, we're going to be going into the training view and building the chart from scratch and going through the settings one by one. So first things first, let's add an instance of the waterfall visual. Let's resize it, disable the background and title since we're not going to be using those. And as for the setup, we're going to be adding type in our category, and we're going to be using 2020 values for the changes. There we go. Now, if we go into the formatting options, we're going to find Tooltip Settings right here. And the first thing that you can notice here is that we actually provide you with two types of tooltips. We provide you with a custom tooltip, which is ZoomCharts around, and we're also providing you with the Power BI built-in tooltip. The main difference is the visual appearance and how it works. So just as an example, I'm going to use custom tooltip, so the default tooltip right here. And when I hover over the changes, you can see that it showcases pretty decently. And what's also great about it, it takes the color from the series and it shows the series name in that color. Thus, it's easier to understand what exactly you're seeing there. Now, if I change this to the Power BI native tooltip, you can see that whenever I hover over one of the columns, instead of actually showing me the changes and the category for which the changes are happening, it shows me just the category that I'm hovering over. So there are some pros and cons to each and every one of them. So going forward, let's go back to the custom tooltip. And some of the additional settings that you have here are, for example, use total stack values. But the most important ones are going to be display unit, value decimals, and percentage decimals. What these values allow you to do is to customize the values within the tooltip. So let's say, for example, right here, you can see that the value is 16.8K. If I wanted to customize it, I would want to say that in the tooltip, I actually don't want to have any aggregations for the values. For the values itself, I also don't want to have any decimals. Since I'm not using percentages, I'm just going to leave percentage decimal as auto. Now, if I hover over the same column, you can see that the value within the tooltip has a different format, whereas the value label on the column itself has a completely different one. So the added benefit of customizing it through the settings is that you don't have to change the original column. You're just applying these settings on per visual basis. Now, if that's not enough, we can also go into the main page right here under waterfall, and you can see how these compare one to another. So for example, here, like I said, you have the original tooltip, here you have the custom tooltip, and if we switch to the values, you can see that, as I mentioned, you can also customize this based on your preferences. So whether you want to have the full value or you want to have a shortened value. Now, after the tooltip settings, the next thing we're going to be covering is going to be the toolbar items. For that, we're going to go back to the training view and open up the formatting options, close the tooltip settings, and open up the toolbar tab. There we go. So what we have here is essentially 4 buttons and 2 additional settings. We have the back button, zoom out, Lin Log scale, reset button, and also we have a toggle for the dark mode. Dark mode allows you to change all these elements in the toolbar to a lighter version. That's going to be really convenient when you are using darker backgrounds for your reports. Now, the other thing that you can change here is the placement of the toolbar. By default, we're trying to save some space on the vertical axis. So you can see that the toolbar right here is being placed within the chart. Now, what you can do here is change the location to the outside. So thus you're essentially creating a specific location for the toolbar where the value label or the value axis is not going to overlap. So regarding the toolbar items, we're going to go through every single one of them, and I'm going to explain what they do. So for example, if you click on back, that's going to take you one step back in the navigation. One thing to note here is that whatever you did previously is going to be reverted. So the reason why you have to be careful with this is because if you just did a drill down, it's going to go back to the first level, which seems okay. But if you just did a zoom out function, you're going to go down into the drill down. So make sure that you explain these interactions to your end user. Now, as far as the zoom out button goes, it's always going to take you one step up in the hierarchy whenever you click on it. The third button that we have here is linear and logarithmic switch. So you can just simply click on it and change between these two scaling models. Now, the last button that we need to cover is reset. When you select something on a visual, the visual starts to create a filter for the rest of the report page. And reset is only going to appear when that particular visual is passing out some additional filters. If you click on reset, it's going to clear the filters, and if you had already activated some drill downs or multiple selections, all of those are going to be cleared. Now, when you're working with just one visual, it might not seem that impressive, but this is going to become really great when you're working with multiple visuals and you're applying cross-chart filtering, because what it essentially allows you to do is to clear the filters from one visual whilst keeping the other one completely intact. Alright, so that's going to be it for the tooltip and toolbar settings. I'll see you in the next video.